Betty Macintosh was an inspirational leader, a proven fierce and fearless advocate, someone that would push policy, and this recipient embodies all those requirements. A strong leader is one who instills confidence in all those around them. A great leader is not one who's born a great leader, but one who is created over years of trials and tribulations. According to this person's administrative support manager, our leader is one that knows the way, goes the way, and shows the way. Our honoree has passion to make sure that individuals' lives are enhanced and that each person are given real opportunities to explore and become part of their community. They focus on core issues, remove barriers, whether that be at a local or state level. They are soft-spoken, organized, and calm individual. This person works tenaciously to make system changes and improve lives of people. The honoree does not want recognition, never wants recognition, but today she doesn't have a choice. They do have a vision of what the system would look like, and they're able to achieve those outcomes. A colleague states the honoree is a very kind, warm person. They work hard every day, but still able to have fun both in their personal lives and their professional lives. They are well respected across Ohio and have been able to mentor several superintendents throughout their career. This person has spent the last 28 years in the field of developmental disabilities in a variety of positions. They have always looked within the scope of their job, but learned everything outside of their job to become a great leader. When the statewide issues, this person has no qualm about going to the state to try to resolve those issues. They've been involved with Job Readiness Training Grant, the SALT program, which is School to Adult Life Transition Program, and the Ohio Employment Engagement Institute. A board member states the honoree is truly deserving of this award. They are one of those exceptional leaders who have a keen ability to navigate the system in all the challenging situations. They are visionary, and their ability to develop a strategic plan and execute it while maintaining the focus on the customer has served our county extremely well. Another board member says, this person's proactive, goal-oriented, with outstanding communication skills and keeps people informed. The honoree has been involved with the Ohio Association of County Boards, WestCon COG, Ohio Self-Determination Board, funding system redesign, local influence groups. The list goes on and on and on. I really have a half page of things this person has done. They have a bachelor's and master's degree from Kent State University, began their career at Goodwill Rehabilitation Center in March of 1987, in many different roles. She moved to Union County Board in 1990 as the role of Case Management Community Services Specialist. In 93, she became the Support Services Director. In June of 2005, she became the Superintendent of the Shelby County Board of Developmental Disabilities. And in August of 2011, she became a shared superintendent, picking up Champaign County Board of DD. But I want to bring it back to a local level. Most of you know by now it's Laura Zureich. Back on a local level, if I can make this work right, Laura showed her true dedication by being in charge of the Dairy Doodle ice cream stand, where students would come up to her and pick out the flavors of ice cream they wanted. Not wanting to leave parents out of the situation, she also became the popcorn lady. And she was giving popcorn to parents and preschoolers. A board member states, Laura is a great, wonderful, and magical person. I'm going to leave this up a while because it's this funny to look at. She's willing to show unconditional care and concern and love to anybody that she works with. Her mission for herself and the expectations she sets for her staff: go do good things for people with disabilities. And the questions she always asks them is, why can't a person with a disability have a life like you or me? Her staff states she has great insight. I got her evaluation and pulled stuff off her evaluation. Laura had great insight and courage to share and stand behind her beliefs. She's a good synthesizer of information and is willing to do what's best, even if it's not popular. She is approachable and has an open door policy. She's unbiased, she's honest, and trustworthy. One might say Laura is a superintendent. Laura loves Dr. Seuss, Winnie the Pooh, and many other things. She also is becoming a master brewer of beer, so when she retires, hopefully she will bring beer for all of us. Laura has always been a character and will be sorely missed in our system in her counties. Laura has several favorite retirement quotes. Sometimes you will never know the value of a moment like this until it becomes a memory, by Dr. Seuss. What feels like the end is often the beginning, from the Spotted Cow Coffee House. Goodbye. Oh no, please. Can't we go back to page 1 and do it all over again? From Winnie the Pooh. As soon as I saw you, I knew an adventure was going to happen, again, Winnie the Pooh. And how lucky I am to have something that makes me saying goodbye so hard, again, Winnie the Pooh. Laura is active in her community and family-oriented and will enjoy retirement with her family. Please join me in congratulating this year's Betty Macintosh winner, Laura Zureich, Superintendent of Champaign and Shelby County Boards of DD.
Thank you so much. I need to take a moment and collect my thoughts. If you know me, you know that I don't prepare for this kind of thing. I just get up and sometimes say a little prayer and then go. So we're going to find out together what the heck I'm going to say. What I will say, first of all, is that it's very brave of Steve to hand a microphone to a person who is retiring. Because there are many things that perhaps will need to be said. This has not been the year that was planned in approaching retirement. But maybe that's true for all years. You know, humans make a plan, and then we wait and see what happens. So there are many adjectives that come to mind when I think about this year. Some of them not so positive, tumultuous and scary come to mind as we dealt with many medical and health issues in my family. But positive ones like awesome and wondrous also come to mind. And that is because of the many, many wonderful people who've supported me and my family, not just throughout my career, but particularly this past year, which has been stressful. So I would like to thank all of the staff in Champaign and Shelby counties. One could not ask for better, more supportive coworkers. And when you work in an organization, you hope that it is crafting a path of support for people with disabilities, but also for your own staff. And to be the recipient of that support from all of them has been nothing less than humbling for me. Also, there are many of you in this room that I would love to thank individually. I will say that if our paths have crossed at all in the past 28 years, then gratitude is extended to you as well. I'm deeply grateful for all the relationships that have been forged over these past years. Not wanting to slight anyone, I do have 3 people that I want to call out in particular. The first is my husband, Don, who is unending, steadfast support to me. The second 2 are they have just been my right hand in Champaign and Shelby counties over the past years. Sharon Wheeland in Champaign County and Darlene Mullen in Shelby County. Their dedication, support, follow-through, organization, and commitment to the people that we support has helped both organizations stay on track, particularly this past year when sometimes leadership has been what I would call wobbly. Moving on from all of that, when you look back at your career, or as all of you are going through it, there are moments that stand out. There are milestones that shape us. And given that Betty's Award is all about advocacy, a story about a milestone in my career seems to make sense. So back in the early 90s, before Service and Support Administration, as Steve mentioned, we had case management. And that was the capacity in which I worked in Union County. One of the things that we were required to do at that time was visit people who lived in nursing facilities who were eligible for DD supports and talk with them. And there were basically 2 questions that had to be asked. Are you happy here, and do you want to stay here? So I visited the local nursing facility and started through the list. The last person on my list was a woman named Gladys. Gladys was 65 years old when I met her, and she had been placed in the nursing facility at age 12 by her family, which was very common at that time. You know, certainly we can't fault families for what was very acceptable in the late 30s and early 40s, but Gladys had lived in this nursing facility for 53 years. And in a defining moment, I actually, and I never remember what people say, but I actually remember what she said when I asked her those 2 questions. "Are you happy here? Do you want to stay here?" And she said, "Heck no, honey, get me out of here." And so that's what we proceeded to do. Gladys's older sister was her legal guardian, but upon researching it, we learned that the guardianship had lapsed. And so Gladys and I proceeded to make a plan, and she moved to what in Marysville is called the high rise, but really it's 3 stories. So if you're ever there, don't look for a high rise. But anyway, she moved to her own apartment, and in the process, the family attempted to regain guardianship, and Gladys had to go to court. And I went with her, and she was on the stand before the probate judge, and she took her cross-stitch with her that she was just very proficient at. She also took a cookbook. She loved to cook, and she explained to him the steps that she would follow in baking a cake. And at the end of that day, she was found to be competent, and she lived the rest of her life. Yes, it was very good. She lived the rest of her life in her own apartment, doing the things she wanted to do, living the life she wanted to live. And I was very fortunate to have that experience so early on in my career because it truly shaped my view of supporting people with disabilities and the opportunities that all people deserve to have in life. So with that, what I would say to all of you is that I hope you have had a Gladys in your life, in your career. And if not, I hope that you find your Gladys. It would also be my hope that you work in an environment that allows you to be bold and do things that are risky in supporting people with developmental disabilities, because that's how that happens for all of us. And lastly, I would say this day, November 29th, 2018, is the best November 29th, 2018 ever. It is the only one we are ever going to have. Each day is a one and only opportunity. So thank you from the bottom of my heart for making this such a memorable day for me. God bless you all.